Welcome, I'm Mystery, and today we won't be playing, but I'm going to show you some situations from my gameplay and let you think about it, and then I will discuss my solution to the situation and what I've done in the game, what might get better or not. And just while unique, the plan is to get some feeling for the mono green deck, and while trying to test your skill, you might get better at playing it. So this is the deck. All the games and all the tests will be played with. So keep a look at it. It's I think a straightforward build of mono green. So you should be familiar with this deck type. And let's start with something easy. So this is the first situation. Your task is to plan your turn for this situation, and I really encourage you to try stop the video, think about it, and come out with the solution. So please stop the video now, and now let's get to the solution. As I said, this first one should be easy. In this situation, the opponent is at 5 lives, so you should be thinking about just straightforwardly killing them. And when we count their creatures and our creatures, we are up 4 creatures. We have activated Ranger class, which can get +1 to one creature of ours. So even without the Faceless Haven, we should be able to kill them, because we have 4 1/1 creatures. One of them is going to grow, and opponent should block the creature with the highest power to survive. So that's enough. We can play the Faceless Haven and then attack with our Faceless Haven for 4 more. Our opponent should block it most likely, but that's enough. That's little damage, and that's the solution. And we will continue with the attacking. And in this situation, we've just played the Essica's Chariot. Last turn, the opponent played the Professor, and your task is to find the right attack here. So again, stop the video, and now here is the solution. There isn't little attack this time, so you might discuss the solution I present, but I think in this situation the best way is to attack with everything. And to do it, we should use the Essica's Chariot, tap one of the cats and the Lotus Cobra to power it up, and then attack with everybody. Opponent might have some good block for 2/2 cat, but the Essica's Chariot is going to create another cat, so that's not a problem. They might also score straight with one of our creatures, but it's also fine. And that's fine because we are going to hit them for quite a lot of damage. And I think that the most important part of the playing mirror, you can see the opponent is playing mono green deck as well, is attack your opponent. There is lots of effects which can pay you for attacking your opponent. One of them is in our hand. With the Ranger class, we are going to get +1/+1 counters for attacking. Then there is a Werewolf Pack Leader, which draws us a card for the attacking. The Vrogemot also gets counters for attacking, so there is lots of payoffs for attacking, and if the opponent is forced to lose the lives beyond 8 lives, they can't get the options to attacking. If they then attack us, we might kill them with the backswing. So we are in a really good spot. And we aren't losing much. If they kill the cat which we've created with Essica's, that's fine. If they trade in, that's fine, we've hit them for lots of lives. So that's the solution for the second problem. And let's go to the next one. I think this one is quite hard. So again, the question is to choose your attackers here. Take your time and think about it and stop the video now. And if you are ready, there aren't really many possibilities here. We might attack with everybody, with the Cobra, or with nobody. Let's start with attack everybody, then we are bleeding out one creature for the 2 life of our opponents. I don't think it's really worthy. So really 2 main possibilities are here. We might attack with the Lotus Cobra here, or we might save it. And the real question is, how would the opponent block here? So if they try with the Death Toucher, I think it's really worthy for us, because the Death Toucher in this matchup, again, we are playing the mirror, is worth a lot, because we have huge creatures, even the Essica's on the battlefield, Froghemoth in our hand, and the Ranger class which is going to grow something. So if we are able to trade the Lotus Cobra for the 1/1 Death Toucher, I think it's really worth it. And there is a Ranger Sentinel, and Ranger Sentinel is the ramp. We were on the play, so we have the tempo advantage. If we can trade our Lotus Cobra, which already gave us a value, we played Essica's this turn, for the ramping creature, I think it's worth a lot here too. So my solution was in the game, and I think it's still the good play to attack. The opponent didn't block at all, they take it, so I think in the game it was right solution. Of course it depends hugely on their hand, but we might know something about their hand. And that's it, they don't have a 2-drop, otherwise they would play it this turn. As you can see, the Ranger Sentinel isn't summoned in Signet, so they might play something for 2 mana here, and they didn't, so there isn't 2-drop. They might and might not have the land. If they have a land in their hand, then they might block. If they don't, they absolutely shouldn't block, and they should try to play their 3-drop. So the odds are quite good in our favor, and I think that's for the attack. But if you don't feel the same, let me know in the comments, we might discuss this one. Here is another quite hard attack. As you might see, we have the Outgrown Troll in our hand. We definitely should play this one this turn, but how should we attack here? So please make a stop, think about it, and here is the solution. And this time I think there is quite a lot of possibilities. In the game I ended up attacking with everybody. If we are going to everybody, we shouldn't play the Outgrown Troll first, of course. But is it really the good call? Let's count it together. We are playing most likely a deck which plays the Blood on the Snow. So it means they are going to wipe us at turn 5 with the treasure. But we can also see that the opponent is mana screwed. We have 4 lands, they have only 2. They have the way to draw the land this turn because they are learned for the sciences, but they are all slow. We have at least 3 turns when we might attack them. The real possibility is to attack with everybody, or to grow our 2 shamblers to make them bigger. The outgrow troll isn't really going to make any impact. They won't block it because it has trample. So the professor is going to block this turn or the next turn, depending on how we attack it. So we might attack this turn, that's 3 damage, or 2, they are going to block here. And then the next turn we are going to attack again with 2 creatures, and that's again 2 damage. And the third turn, if they play nothing, we are going to attack them, and that's 2 damage more, so that's 6 damage. If we are not going to attack this turn and grow our 2 1/1s into 2/2s, then the next turn we are going to attack for 3 damage, and the next turn we are going to attack for 3 damage as well. So that's 6 damage versus 6 damage. And in that case, I think it's better for us to attack with everybody, but it's really very close. I think it's better to attack with everybody to get the damage in. You never know if they got another creature, another chump blockers, and it might change the situation. But here really, if you are going to grow your 1/1s into 2/2s, that's okay as well. You may argue that they won't sweep you in 3 turns, and in that case that's of course better because you are having 1 more power into the battlefield and you are going to deal more damage in time. The next one. So here we are. We'll just improve our class so it gives +1/+1 counters. And the question is again how to attack in this case. So please stop the video, make a think, and here is the solution. Opponent is quite low on lives. They are at 9, we are 20, so we've been quite aggressive previous in the game. But opponents set up quite impressive defenses. They play 2 werewolf pack leaders, and we can't attack them with everybody here. Or we might, but let's count how they would block. So I think the best blocks for them are to kill the Lotus Cobra with just +Sentinels, then block our 2/2s with their 3/3s with the werewolves and the professor, letting for example the wolf alive, and then block the outgrow troll with the dead toucher. If that's done this way, they are going to 4 lives, and we are going to have 1 wolf left. We are going to regrow the troll from the forest, that's fine, and play the Jasper Sentinel. They are at 4 lives, but they have 3 quite huge creatures. They might even attack us with the werewolf pack leaders. In the next turn, draw 2 more cards and set up quite effective defenses. So I don't think that's the play here. So, is there any other possible attack? There is possible attack with the outgrow troll. We might try to attack here and make a trade. The opponent probably shouldn't take the damage here because the blocks for them are quite good. So let's keep that possibility. So the possible blocks are with the Death Toucher, taking 4 damage from the troll because it's going to draw to 5/5, and then try to survive. But in that case, we still can regrow the troll, play the Jasper Sentinel, and have 7 creatures on play next turn. So I don't think they in that scenario can attack us, because we still have 7 creatures to go after them, and they probably should die next turn with our Faceless Haven as an 8th creature. So they might trade with the Professor. That's 5-5 for 1 damage and 5-4. Quite a good trade for us. And again we are going to redraw the draw. So that's good trade as well. And then most likely best trade for them is block with the 2 werewolves. If they are going to block with 2 werewolves, we are going to kill only one of them. But again we will get the draw back from the forest. And they lost the werewolf. And the werewolf is the way for them to get back in this game. If they can attack with both of these, be ready to pump it for 4 mana and draw 2 cards. I think that's how can they outvalue us in the game. So if we are going to kill one of them, I think it's a very good trade for us and we definitely should do it. But again, in this scenario it isn't so clear, so if you disagree with me, let me know, and you might even see another solution here. This one is quite a simple. Turn 2 you are on draw, playing mono green, most likely against mono white. In MTG arena you doesn't really know, but the cleric is somehow signaling the mono white. And the question is simple, do we attack here? And here comes my solution. And this really is about knowing what we are up to. I think the matchup mono green against mono white is very favorite for us, especially when we are on a draw. The mono white is trying to outgrow us. That means make much more creatures than we do. For them it's best when they are flyers, and then be ready to trade their creature for ours and kill us in the air. They have a paladin class which can grow all of their creatures. When we take this in mind, I think for us it's best here just to attack them and offer the trade. That's because their creature is vigilant, so if we don't, they most likely are going to attack us back here. This cleric is going to be 2-2, there is also a way they can do it, and it's going to attack us through the wolf from the ranger class. I really think in this matchup we should trade our smaller creatures for their smaller creatures because they have pump everybody effects, and just play our huge creatures and kill them with them. But really, let me know, I am not sure about this matchup. I think it's really strange. Sometimes they play lots of flyers, sometimes they play a lot of paladin classes, sometimes they does lots of 1/1 with flying. Really depends on what's in their hand, and it might differ. I think this one is quite harder from the attack options. You should know what your plan in the matchup is. Even I'm not sure what's the right call here. So that was the attack session, and now there is one puzzle for blocking. And again, it's a mono white matchup. It actually is the same game, and as you might see, I didn't attack them, and now they are attacking me. And again, the question is, do we block here? So make a think, and there is a solution. And I think in this case we definitely should trade here. Next turn we should clear the Clarion Spirit. If we draw the land, we might do it while attacking them and putting +1/+1 counters on on our thing. And if we don't, we might play the tap land. We might put +1/+1 counters on the Shambler and then brawl with the Luminarch Aspirant. We really should kill Luminarch Aspirant here because that's their value engine. And if we can do it and they play our mammoths and trolls and attack with them with the ranger class, I think the game should be really in our favor. Here, the question isn't about the attack, and your task is to play here. So as you might see, we are after the reticle stage. We've spent most of our mana here. We have the ranger class active because we can see the top of our library. And there are two possible plays. One is play our creature and the second is grow our creature. So take your time, make a stop, and here is the solution. And in this case, I think it's quite easy and quite straightforward. The opponent is at 5 lives. We need to force them to not to attack us. And to do it, we need to have as much creatures on the battlefield as we can. And to that we should play the Swarm Shambler. We are not going to block them if they attack us. We will just take it and attack them back. So we don't need to be afraid of tapping our creatures. Make the most of them, draw the Haven, play it and attack with our Haven to kill them. If you remember our first puzzle, then that's the case when this was the lethal attack here. And here again, your task is to play this correctly. This is the beginning of our turn. We didn't play a land. Just take your time and come up with the solution. And my solution to this is somehow very strange. I think in this case we should play the Snakeskin Whale just now on the Werewolf and attack them. And here is why. We need the 6 power to activate the Pact ability. So if we do it, we can draw a card and see what's in there for us. We don't have much place otherwise. We might play in the Swarm Chamber and hold up a Stoneskin Whale, but opponent is playing against some control deck. They are going to make Blood on the Snow, so we should be very aggressive here and we should attack them. So if we spend our turn playing the Lair of Hydra tapped, Swarm Shambler tapped, and growing our Swarm Shambler while holding the Stoneskin Whale, we've lost the turn. And I really think that in this matchup we shouldn't lose the turn. So if we make the Stoneskin Whale here, we might attack with everybody. They don't have really good blocks. They might double block the Werewolf Pack Leader or make some trades otherwise, but that's okay. So okay, we are going to hit them for some lives, draw a card and play something more. Here again, your task is to play the turn. So make a stop. And here is the solution. We are in a quite interesting spot because our Asica's Chariot was a hit and it cost 2 more. And we are currently at 5 mana. The Lair of the Hydra is coming into play tapped. So we can play Asica's Chariot here. The right play, I think, is to power up the Faceless Haven and attack with the 2/2 Swarm Shambler for 6 damage. Then play the third Swarm Shambler and grow the last one, which is now 1-1. If we do it, the opponent can't kill anything here, because we have triple Swarm Shambler in the battlefield, so if they target it, we are going to get 3 1-1s. They won't do it. The next turn we are playing the Esika's Chariot, and we are going to attack them with 3 Swarm Shamblers for 5 damage, so they are going to 6 lives, and we have the Faceless Haven and the Troll ready to get in. And I think the bad play here is to play the Troll, because if we play the Troll here, even on their turn, then we won't be able to play the Esika's Chariot, and we've lost the card, and we've lost some really good value which comes with it. And if we play the Troll here, we can't attack with the Faceless Haven, which is 4 damage down, which we won't get back quite easily with the Troll. In this puzzle, your task is again to make the best play. Make a think about it, stop the video, and here is the solution. So first of all, why am I asking this question here? It seems quite easy, but you should really think about what your opponent is playing here. The opponent is in blue and red, so most likely they are playing some dragon deck with lots of removal and lots of counter spells. So we have 2 possibilities here. We might play around the counter spell while upgrading our ranger class, then attack with the wolf, get +1/+1 counter and hit them for 3 damage. Or we might play around removal. If we upgrade the ranger class, attack with the wolf, they are going to kill it, and we've lost our turn here. There are 2 reasons why to play the ranger class here. The ranger class from our hand to the battlefield. The first one is the general rule. You don't want to upgrade the ranger class here if you don't have more possible attackers, just in the case they can kill one of them. And the second main point for not upgrading the class is there is a much higher possibility of them having a removal. So in this case we really should play the ranger class for our hand. What is the right play here? I think the situation is quite clear, so take your time, stop the video here, and here comes the solution. So here are the 3 main possibilities here. You might attack with the Haven and bring back the Troll. You might play the Esika's Chariot, and you might attack with the Lair. Let's start with the most aggressive part, which is attacking with the Haven. If we attack with the Haven, they are and everything else, they are going to block Swarm Shambler, and we are going to hit them for 7 damage. They are going to play the Sciences, get back to 6, and play a creature. We have the Troll entering the battlefield at the end of their turn, and we are going to attack them again. But this time, they are going to block the Haven with the creature they have played. They are going to block the Troll with the Predator, and we are going to hit them only for 3 damage. So they are at 3 lives. We lost our Troll, they lost their creature, but their hand is full. They are going to play 2 more creatures, and I think they're stabilized the game. If we are going to attack with the lair here, then they are going again to block the Swarm Shambler, and I in that case feel that we are in the worst spot, because next turn they of course gain some life, play some creatures, and they might block the lair of the Hydra next turn with the Jumper or with the Predator, which is going to get indestructible. So I think that's even the worst. And what's about playing the Esika's Chariot? Esika's Chariot is effectively 8 power to the battlefield. If we draw something, we might play it, activate the Esika's Chariot and attack them next turn. And attack the next turn with the Esika's Chariot and some 4 creatures and some lands. So if we do it, they most likely are going to block 2 of these. Again, they are going to eat one of the Shamblers, but we are going to hit them with 2 cats and Swarm Shamblers for another 3 damage. That's for 7. So they are going to be at 6 life, most likely. We are bringing back the troll, what we really should. And the next turn, we are going to attack them with troll, most likely Esika's Chariot, or just everybody who is still alive, which should be at least 4 other creatures, and the Haven. So I think in this case, the best play is don't attack into the Predator here, just play the Esika's Chariot, make our board bigger, and try to kill them next turn or the turn after. Of course, this play is quite vulnerable to the board wipe, but that's also the case with the troll on the battlefield. So I think having the Esika's Chariot is somehow better than have nothing, only the creature land here. And here is another turn you should think about. It's again against the dragon deck. They foretold 1 card, and just think about it, make a stop, and here is my solution. In the game, I've played the Werewolf Pack Leader, and I upgraded the class. The way I was thinking was, okay, my opponent has a counter spell, I want to play around it. So I play the Werewolf Pack Leader. In the case they are going to counter it, then that's okay, because I'm going to upgrade the Ranger class and hit them for 3 damage. If they have a removal, they might kill one of our creatures, but they are going to kill one of the wolves, and the second wolf is going to be 3/3. So if they kill the Werewolf Pack Leader, which is actually what they really did, then my wolf is going to hit them for 3 damage here. But I think it wasn't the best play. I think I should play straight to the counter spell here and play the Esika's Chariot. And I think it's because the likelihood of them actually having the counter spell is quite low. I think that the photo card actually is around Epiphany, not the counter spell here, and it was in the game, because they don't have the reason to foretell counter spell in this matchup. I don't think that's the right play. But the second main reason is because we are having 2 Esika's Chariot. We don't need 2. So if they are going to counter one of them, okay, that's fine. We are going to hit them for 2 damage, and the next turn we have the possible play. We also should consider that the opponent is playing the dragon next turn, or they might. We actually should think about, okay, dragon is coming, and when the dragon is coming, you should have more power on the battlefield than is the dragon. So if we are able to resolve Esika's Chariot, we have actually 6 power on the battlefield, and the Esika's Chariot, that's 8. That's 10. and we should be able to fight through the dragon. So I think in this case I've misplayed. It actually worked quite well. We have the werewolf killed and one of the ranger class active, but I think the better spot would be with Essica's Chariot on the battlefield. And this is the same game. As you might see, the opponent still have a foretold card. They attack us with the dragon, and we probably should know that the foretold card isn't around Epiphany here, because otherwise they would play it. But they draw some new fresh card, just this turn, with the Desert Doom. So what's your play here? I think this one is very hard, so we'll stop and think about it. And here is my solution. I think the opponent is likely to have Aaron's Epiphany inherent, or to have some dragons. So we are actually at 2-turn clock if we can deal with the Desert Doom here. So I think we should focus our turn just to kill the Desert Doom. So what we should do? We might expect opponent to have something for us prepared. They are most likely having a removal spell, as we discussed earlier. We somehow know that the foretold card isn't Aaron's Epiphany. So in that case, it's either draw 2, which is very unlikely. It's not often played in the dragon deck, so it should be a counter spell here. So we might expect something to get countered. And with that in mind, I attacked here with everything, and I put +1/+1 counter on the wolf. You somehow can also find out if the opponent has some instant spell when you are attacking, and in this case I think they didn't. So that's quite a tell that what we are going to do is a good play. So I was going to brawl with the Desert Doom with the 4/4 wolf, and that get counterspelled, which was very lucky for us, because otherwise we can't deal with the Doom if they are going to kill the wolf. But we did. So they counterspell it. We've played another Blizzard Brawl, and then we activate the Ranger class because we need to spend our mana. Why to play it like this? You might say, okay, we might try to play the Essica's Chariot here. But if we play the Essica's Chariot, I think the opponent shouldn't counter it, but they most likely would. In that case, we might brawl the Desert Doom as well, so that's fine. But if they don't, we might attack them, they would take it, and the next turn they are going to attack us with the Desert Doom and another dragon, and we most likely are going to lose the game. So that's it. Yeah, you might argue that they are going to counter spell the Essica's Chariot. Yeah, that's possible, and in that case we can kill the Doom as well. But I still think I spent my mana better, because they counterspell the Blizzard Ball, and we were able to upgrade one of the classes here. So I think my solution worked out better. I had the chance to try for the instant spell while doing the attack here. I think that the solution was quite good. But if you have something better here, of course there is lots of possibilities here. Let me know in the comments. Here we have another mirror. You are going to play a lot of mirrors with mono green deck, so let's try to be prepared. And the question is easy. What are you going to do with your turn here? I've already played land because I think we really should play the 2-drop here, but the question is which one. So take your time. And here is my solution. And in this case, I think it's really tough. That's why it's so late in the video. And I ended up playing the Lotus Cobra. And that's because my plan was to play the Werewolf Pack Leader into Kazandu Mammoth as a land, into Brawl as a worst case scenario. So that's somehow the easiest rule, just to play your ramp creatures first. The other possibility was to play the Werewolf Pack Leader. Then you might play the Cobra, then you might play the Mammoth as a land and repeat. But in that case, you are going to have the Werewolf Pack Leader on the battlefield and you might attack with it. And because of that, I think that's a better solution. So, of course, if you are going to play the Cobra and then get the untapped plant, you might even play the Mammoth into the Brawl, which is a bit better, but I won't get this play on the chance, and I would like to have my Werewolf Pack Leader on the battlefield faster, just to be able to attack with it. So that's my solution. I think this one is very hard, so that means both possibilities are quite good, quite realistic, and it depends on the chance which one of them is better. And this was the last puzzle. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you learned something new, or at least make yourself think about it and get more familiar with the mono green deck. And if you did, and if you like the content, please let me know. I would do more content like this. I might try the mono white deck, I might try some other decks, or just continue with the mono green. So if you want me to do something of this, let me know. See you next time.